In the real world, other than family or friends, you're not going to be able to borrow money from someone and just pay the same thing back. Why? Because if you do that, only you're advantaged by that situation. You couldn't afford the thing, so you borrowed money from someone else, and they were very generous enough to just expect that money back. In the real world, lenders, banks, or people that are loaded are going to loan money to borrowers, people who need money, and they charge them a fee on top of the money borrowed. So I want to define, because I'm always going to use these terms for this topic, the money that is borrowed or loaned out is called the principal. That's principal with an A, not a principal at the end like your life principles. Principal is the money that's borrowed or loaned. Number 2, the fee charged by the lender to the borrower is known as interest. And you need to keep in mind, at the end of this arrangement, the borrower pays back the total amount. What is the total amount made up of? It's the principal, what they borrowed in the first place, plus the interest, the cherry on top. So what you can think of, banks are the lenders, right? They're not loaning money out to people out of the kindness of their own heart. They'll say that, they're going to, we want to help you buy a house. Is that the end of the story? No, because my house was 480 grand. They're going to get 600 grand off of me just for the privilege of borrowing that money and having to pay it back. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. You are an investment to the bank because they're getting money off of you. It's just taking a while. Okay? After you've got those 3, for the people that came in later, although you're way ahead, during the lessons, I'll check your maths as you go. Okay? Simple interest is the most basic method of calculating the interest fee charged on a principal. I'm going to try to fool you and call it flat rate interest, maybe in your test, but simple interest is the same as flat rate interest. Different terms for the same thing. This is the formula for it. The simple interest fee is equal to the principal times by the interest rate as a decimal. So can you remind me, please, how did we convert percentages to decimals in shares? What would 5% be as a decimal?
0.05.
Good. And then the time in years. Get that formula down, please. Simple interest is equal to P times by R times by T. The time is in years. That's the interest rate is as a decimal. I'll give you some time to get that formula down. That should go on your cheat sheet. Then we'll do 4 examples. All right, let's do the first example. Calculate the simple interest paid on an 8 grand investment at a flat rate of 7% over 18 months. So it's asking me to find the simple interest. I'm investing 8 grand. The rate is 7%. That's the time. So set up the formula. I'm asking for SI. So leave it. That's unknown. What is my P going to be? Yes?
8,000.
8,000 times by, what's my R going to be? Someone else?
1.5.
Huh?
1.5.
My R. You've got the answer for the T. What's the interest rate going to be?
0.07.
Good. 0.07, and then you sped run the answer, so 1.5. If anyone is unsure how student got 1.5 out of 18 months, how many months are there in a year?
12.
12. So 18, to convert that to years, 18 divided by 12, 1.5. Although in your head, you probably did a year is 12 months and then 6 months on top of that. 6 months is half a year. Whatever. Just need the right answer. It just needs to be in years. So there, chuck that in a calculator. 8,000 times by 0.07. Sorry, move it over. Times by 1.5. So you would have to pay $840 of interest on a simple interest basis for that. Sorry, you wouldn't pay. You're getting that interest. You invested $8,000. After 1.5 years, you're going to get back 840 on top of the $8,000. So the way I operate is I expect you to be able to do algebra because you've been doing it from year 8 onwards. I'm just going to give you the simple interest formula. SI is equal to PRT. This question, is it asking for the simple interest or is it asking something else?
Asking for the time.
It's asking for the total. So actually it is finding the simple interest. 2,700 is invested, 5% interest rate. I want to know what the total is. I don't just want to know the cherry on top. I want to know what I get back overall. So SI, what do I chuck in? What's the P? What's being invested? 2,700 times by, what is the interest rate?
0.05.
0.05 times by, what is the time in years? 8. Grab your calculator out. 2,700 times 0.05 times by 8. 1080 is the cherry on top, the interest. Therefore, the total is going to be what I invested in the first place, plus the 1080. So add 2,700 to that. 3,780. Right, example, get those down. What I'm just going to demonstrate in the last two is finding the other variables, yeah? If we examine example 3, this is a different question. I want to earn 6,000 interest. I want the cherry on top to be $6,000. On a 4-year investment, and I invested 18,000, I want to work out what rate. So in my SI is equal to PRT formula, what is it I don't know?
You don't know the time. Or you don't, sorry, the flat rate.
Yes, I don't know the R, okay? I'm not going to rearrange the formula for you. You put in what you know. I want to earn 6,000 equals, I invested 18,000. I don't know what the rate is, times by 4. Now you're telling me, yeah, I haven't had any of you for maths previously. You're telling me I can't do anything because 18,000 and 4 are far away from each other. No. You tell me, what's the answer to 1 times 2 times 3? 6. You're going to have trouble getting through year 12. You can't do that. 3 times by 1 times by 2. What's the answer to that?
6.
What have I just proven there? Does the order of multiplication matter?
No.
So is there only multiplications here? So there's nothing stopping me putting the 4 next to the 18,000 and finding it. 6,000 equals 18,000 times by 4 times by R. You don't have to do that, but I'm just visually illustrating it. 18,000 times 4. So 72,000 times R equals $6,000. What is 72,000 doing to R? What is the operation that it's applying there? What's the opposite of multiplying by 72,000? What do I have to do on the other side to keep it balanced? Divide by 72,000. Why is that helpful? 72,000 is going to cancel itself out. So 6,000 divided by 72,000, so the rate is going to be 0.083, which I rounded to three decimal points. That's not your final answer. You'll get 1 off if you do that because that's not a percentage. What would that be as a percentage? Yes?
So you times it by 100,
Which would be?
is 8.3%.
8.3% per annum. One more example after that. Can you get that example down?
divided by 80,000 then divided by 4.
How long would it take to earn 47.60 interest? I want my cherry on top to be 47.60. I'm putting 16 grand in the bank at 8.5% per annum. I want to work out how long. So now, that's where I don't know the T. Yep. So SI is 47.60. Investment principal is 16,000 times by 0.085. T remains unknown. Nothing stopping me working out what 16 grand times 0.085 is. It is a number, 1360 times T is equal to 4760. What is 1360 doing to the time?
Multiply.
So what's the opposite of that?
Divide.
Divide by 1360. Divide that by 1360. That'll cancel. T is 4760 divided by 1360. 3.5. What does the formula tell you that T units are in? So months. Is it days? What is it? It's in years. So 3.5 years. You may have some questions that pop up, or maybe in your test, that please state your answer in years and months. Does that question ask for it in years and months?
No.
No? So I can't mark you down if you don't say, right? But if it did ask you for years and months, you'd say 3 years and 6 months. How do we do that? Well, 0.5 is the little bit hanging off. And how many months are in a year? 12. So 0.5 times 12 is going to give you the 6. Okay? I'm only asking for the 6 answers today. Start off fresh on a new topic.